How's it going, everyone? It's truly Mystic, and in today's video we're gonna discuss Chapter 6. Now you might be wondering, why are we talking about Chapter 6 so early on? Especially since it's not coming out until winter time and we still have Chapter 2 Season OG to get through. Not to mention we have the rest of this season to get through. So why so early? Well, you see, the reason why we're talking about Chapter 6 today is actually because it's probably the best time to start thinking and throwing out some ideas for this upcoming chapter. Now, what do I mean? Well, we know that Epic likes to work a couple seasons ahead, and considering that Chapter 2 Season OG is just going to be a 1 month, one and done season, what they're really prepping for is the launch of Chapter 6. And there's some reasons to back this up. You may be wondering why we haven't been getting any groundbreaking, awesome, amazing, game-changing updates this season, at least so far. While we definitely have the rest of this season to look forward to, and I know for sure there's going to be much more to enjoy, so far the recent update has been kind of mid. That's not to say that it wasn't a good one, it just means that it was a little more on the anticlimactic side, as opposed to the usual big updates that we get at least around the start of a brand new season. And so basically what I'm trying to say is that I think Epic is putting a lot of their focus and attention into Chapter 6 as opposed to whatever's happening right now or in the next few months. Now, the reason why I think this is because Chapter 6 is, well, a whole new chapter. Whenever Fortnite releases a brand new chapter, there's almost always big things coming with it, whether that be game mechanics, a new map, new graphics, a new UI, new style to the game entirely. Every Fortnite chapter has to deliver as opposed to regular season updates. And so these are some of the reasons why I think Fortnite's really gearing up for Chapter 6 as opposed to any update that's going to come out in the next few months. It just makes sense. At the start of a new chapter, they're going to want to put all their eggs into one basket with a nice bow wrapped on it. So when the new chapter comes out, as usual, you can be pretty excited. They know that they're going to get a lot of eyes once this chapter drops, and so that's going to be the perfect time to release these groundbreaking updates. And so as they're gearing up for this chapter, I think a good idea would be to actually express our ideas, our hopes, and opinions for Fortnite Chapter 6 so that once it comes out, it's looking like the best chapter ever. And so that's why in today's video, I want to talk about my big hopes for Fortnite Chapter 6. I love to get started, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Let's get some of the easy ones out of the way first. We need to have a solid battle pass. Now, every brand new chapter launch, usually the Season 1 Battle Pass is solid. With the start of a brand new chapter, usually the skins in the Battle Pass have to be somewhat story related. Like for this chapter, we got Oscar, Montague, and even Hope's sister Valeria. I'm thinking at the start of Chapter 6 Season 1, we're probably going to get some more storyline characters incorporated into the Battle Pass. Now, however you may feel about storyline characters being quote-unquote gatekept into a Battle Pass, you can't lie when those characters actually sell the Battle Pass. And even incorporating popular collab characters like Spider-Man or Peter Griffin really bring it home. And so I'm hoping in this chapter every battle pass is solid. That means good skins, strong edit styles, and can we please be done with the filler content? There's no reason why styles should have to take up an entire slot, and like I said before on this channel, I don't think anybody really cares that much about sprays, emoticons, or banner icons. Let's just get the good stuff out there and please bring the emotes this time around. Every battle pass, I want to see at least one iconic dance. I'm hoping that the super styles do something different this time around and aren't just really cool LED color swaps. And lastly, maybe change the way the battle pass looks this time around. We went from tiers to levels to pages that you scroll down to pages that you flip to the side again. Maybe we can have an entirely new battle pass system this chapter. That would be pretty cool, but all that I'm looking for is strong, well-made battle passes. And since we know that any battle pass skin or cosmetic could potentially come to the shop later on, this definitely allows Epic to be super creative with their battle pass cosmetic selection and give the players something awesome to spend their 950 V-Bucks for. Moving on, I'm gonna move on to a bit of a more personal hope, but this one's gonna be a good Christmas event. Look, there's a reason why players love Chapter 1 Season 7. The whole season was basically Christmas themed. And I know we probably won't get anything like that again for a really long time. Players would at least love to have a good Christmas event. We used to get the cabins back in the day, and unfortunately this past Christmas event didn't get that. I'm not saying that they have to bring the cabin back every single Christmas event, but if you want to start Chapter 6 pretty strong, I think a good idea is to give us those presents, Epic. We need a good winter update. As per usual, we'll probably get snow around the map, and I love whenever they do that, but I think more cool touches would be things like, I don't know, snowmen thrown around the map, and even those Christmas light bushes again. Just something that would really bring the holiday spirit into Fortnite again. And of course, throw in small map changes during this time. Throw us the holiday items like the chiller grenades or the snowball launcher. And just all in all, go big. I think Fortnite fans would really appreciate it if you go big in the Christmas season for the game. And one small note, how cool would it be to get another winter themed live event? I know that would just be sick, and we'll speak more about live events later in this vid, but something like that would just be so awesome. I think Chapter 5's winter event was alright. It's definitely nostalgic to many, but I think Chapter 6 has the potential to possibly be the greatest Christmas event of all time if they handle this right. Let's move on. Something pretty important that I like to talk about for one of my hopes is prioritizing Battle Royale. Now, some of you might disagree with me and say that they need to prioritize every new mode now because they're moving to this metaverse idea. And I completely agree with you in that aspect. What I will say though is that Fortnite started from a Battle Royale. I mean, they started from Save the World, but what really made them popular was Battle Royale. It's what everyone fell in love with and is usually what everyone plays as soon as they hop on the game. Whenever you talk about Fortnite, you're 9 times out of 10 referring to the Battle Royale. And so I think this chapter, Battle Royale should take complete priority. But let's not forget about the extra modes. All these new side modes that they introduced into Chapter 5 are updated pretty well, but what ends up happening is that Battle Royale seems to not get as much attention as it used to ever since these modes have been introduced. And so basically they have two options. You could either A, prioritize the hell out of Battle Royale and give the same attention that you give to the other modes as you do now, or B, you get a stacked team and put your all into everything that you've introduced. Considering that they apparently fired a ton of employees, it's looking to be like the first one should probably be the answer, but who knows, if you want to move into this metaverse route, Epic, you're gonna need a lot more employees working on all these new modes that you've introduced. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say for this section. You either prioritize BR all the way or you prioritize everything all the way. Hopefully for Chapter 6, something like that could take place. But do you know what doesn't need to be taking place? Fortnite's obsession with overcharging cosmetics. For Chapter 6, they need to stop being money hungry. There's a lot of good deals that have come out, new bundles, and just a lot more cosmetics that are bang for your buck in the Fortnite item shop. But some items, and you know the ones I'm talking about, overcharge you for an absurd amount. Are you forced to buy these cosmetics? No, but the way they do these things, like forcing you to buy an entire bundle because they can't separate a skin with the other cosmetics, is just crazy. The collabs is where this really happens the most, and I think that they need to kind of tone it down on that. Like some skins need back blings or a wrap or an edit style, just something thrown with it to justify the price. Because skins like the Hail skin should not be costing 1,200 V-Bucks with just this plain skin and nothing else attached to it. We need more reasons to justify the price this chapter, and we don't want to be looking at the item shop and calling it trash because we don't agree with the prices. If you want to make money, Epic, this is what you have to do. And also, put out more bundles. Give some people more locker bundles. I know there's a ton of YouTubers that still deserve one, and keep bringing those deals that you always bring into the item shop on packs and certain real money bundles. This is something that they've been doing a little more lately, so I want them to keep that up in Chapter 6. Now moving on, I'm going to talk about some things that I've talked about frequently on the channel, and you may know what they are: the locker system and the UI. The locker system is self-explanatory. They're working on it, and I shown a clip of it on my last video. This has gotta go. This needs to be changed. It looks too similar to what we have now, and this is unacceptable. Look, the locker, it's not the end of the world. But when you have millions and millions of players playing your game and wanting to use these cosmetics in the game, but you have your locker terribly functioned, guess what, Epic? You're just not gonna make that much money. I've mentioned it before, but if you want to make more money, you have to fix your locker system. Look, a lot of the community has already done the job for you. Take inspiration from these ideas and incorporate it into this update. This is something that I think they're working really hard on for Chapter 6, as they know that a ton of people are asking for a locker change. And so I'm gonna trust them and hope to the Fortnite gods that they deliver, because it has been months since we've gotten any updates from them in regards to the locker system. So seriously, that needs to get fixed along with rarity. Rarity just has to come back. The locker just looks really ugly without it. Moving on to the second thing that I just mentioned, the UI. Look, there's not really anything wrong with the UI. I don't really have a problem with it, but I know many others do. I think the main issue with the UI is that it just looks very corporate and very bland. It feels like it doesn't really have life put into it. The way how they used to handle the UI before just made it feel so much more classic. It was iconic, nostalgic, and it felt like you were playing Fortnite Battle Royale. Now it just feels like you're playing a completely different game, and I know they kind of do it this way so that they can lean closer to this whole metaverse idea, but I seriously think that just small little changes can be made here. Like, most importantly, I think you really have to condense the modes in the game mode selection. It's really crazy just opening it up down there and seeing a whole Netflix catalog. Just condense it. Keeping things simple is honestly better than this complicated mess. So yeah, minor tweaks there, but I hope they change some of it nonetheless. Also, maybe the background lobby could potentially be 3D again. That one's probably not going to be super likely, but I think a majority of the community misses the 3D backgrounds. They just had so much life to them and felt really cool to be in. Is it a bit more to handle compared to slapping a PNG on the back and having less performance issues? Yes, but if you can do it just once, at least for the start of the chapter, I would personally be fine with that. Moving on to the next section, we have an incredibly hot topic: the hit scan versus projectile based system. The projectile based system in the game feels pretty clunky, and ever since it came out at the beginning of the chapter, many people have kind of fallen out of love with the game. Me personally, I don't hate it. It's not the end all be all, but anytime I hop into reload or just play a creative map that has the classic Fortnite weapons, it just feels a hell of a lot better. The classic hit scan weapons have just been what we've known for many years, since the beginning of Fortnite. And so I commend them for going out of their way and trying something new with the projectile based weapons. However, I believe I'm not alone when I say this. Fortnite should never be a solely projectile based shooter. It's just wrong, it doesn't feel right, and it's incredibly hard to hit your shots with some of these guns. And speaking of the guns, a lot of them look pretty identical and similar, and the cartoony feel of the older weapons that made them more distinct just honestly felt a lot more smoother. And we'll speak more about that real soon. But yeah, I think even maybe doing a mix of the hit scan and projectile weapons could be the best of both worlds, as long as they handle it right and really don't lean into just the projectile based system. That way you get the best from both worlds. So yeah, I'm hoping that hit scan weapons make their grand return this chapter. But moving on to something that seriously needs its grand return is the colorful and cartoony style of Fortnite. Back in the day, you used to play a game of Fortnite, and what was the thing that stood out the most? It would probably have to be the cartoony aspect of the game. I don't know why they keep doing this, but for some weird reason, Fortnite tries so hard to lean into a realistic approach. Fortnite should never need to be a realistic game. It's a game where you hop into a battle bus and jump out onto an island with a bunch of other collab characters, duking it out to be number one and take the L. Realism in Fortnite was never its strength. The older graphics and the style of OG Fortnite back in the day is one of the best styles in video game history. They've managed to encapsulate that so well for Fortnite OG and even now in Reload. If we know it's there and it's doable, it's what made you iconic in the first place, why not bring that back? I love the newer graphics that we got. Chapter 4, when that came out and we had the new Unreal Engine for that, where we could see the full potential of how Fortnite can be this wonderful, beautiful, visually looking game, I was perplexed. Fortnite, you've outdone yourselves with these graphics. The game can look amazing with it. But in my personal opinion, I don't think that's what Fortnite should solely be. You shouldn't strive to be realistic because I don't think that's who you are. Now, if that's what you want to do, and if you want to push to a realism approach, I think there's a better way to do it than how you've handled it this chapter. This chapter looks completely lifeless, the map looks super dark, all the colors look mushed, and not as bright and colorful as the way we used to have it back then. Please don't tell me that you prefer dull, boring colors compared to the vibrant old colors that we used to get. I think there can be a blend that you can hit if you want to strive for realism while also giving us the cartoony old style of Fortnite. However, I don't want you to go the approach of whatever chapter 5 is. It was fine for this chapter, I will let it slide, but next chapter I really want to go back to that older style. I know it can be done, and I also know that it's what the majority of the community wants. So yeah, please just a less realistic approach for chapter 6. For my second to last hope, we have stronger and consistent updates. We don't have to get an update every single week. I know that's long gone, but when we wait 2 weeks for an update to come out, we're expecting more than just a collab mythic thrown on the map. There's a ton of other things you can do besides that. So I'm hoping that every 2 weeks of this new chapter, we have a pretty exciting and grand update to look forward to. You know what would be really cool even? To get a major update every 2 weeks, and then the week after, we get a smaller little content update that was included in the grand update but hasn't been put out yet. I know we kinda get something like that nowadays, but what I'm trying to say is that it just doesn't feel consistent. 1 week they don't add anything but nerfs, then we get a big content update, and then the week after we get like literally nothing. It could be as simple as bringing back an old item or weapon, maybe unvaulting something that could counter a strong item in the season. Bring back LTMs or live events again. We don't get many of those anymore, and I feel like each week there should be something to look forward to, and the big content updates should come out big and strong every 2 weeks. And also, don't take long with the change that you said you were going to implement. Cough cough, the locker change. Updates for this game is what a majority of people look forward to, and it's also what a lot of your fans make content on. It gets Fortnite popular and trending almost every single week. And guess what that does? Keep your player count high. If this is what you're looking for, then I hope this is something that you implement. And finally, the most important hope that I have for Chapter 6 out of this entire video has to be listen to your community. We have to have better communication and listening skills with the Fortnite community epic. Take the negative, take the positive feedback, and do something with it. If you're gonna make a decision, stand on business. Do what you wanted to do in the first place and not completely go back on your word. But if the majority hate the change, change it. We only want what's best for the game, and we're here to help you. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about. There's gonna be a lot of trolls, and there's gonna be a bunch of mindless fans with brain-dead opinions. You obviously don't have to listen to those kind of people. But there's a bunch of talented people out there. For example, people who make skin concepts. Can you just take their skin concept and put it into the game and like legit not tweak it? Because these skin concepts look incredible, but when you put them into the game, it just doesn't look as good. If we're waiting a really long time for something, put out posts saying that you're working on it, or that you're at least listening and taking our criticism. Please don't just make changes for the sake of changing your game. And if you do that, please listen to your community and check with them if they like the change or not. don't make a change if we don't like it. Let's not repeat chapter 5 again. And legit, that's gonna be it. Those are all my hopes for chapter 6. Every chapter of Fortnite has a new era, so to speak, to it. And I feel like chapter 5 is unfortunately the worst chapter out of all of them. But this is your redemption arc. Chapter 6 has to be the best chapter of all time. It's almost like your last chance. I mean, obviously, Fortnite's not going anywhere anytime soon, but a lot of people really despise this recent chapter. And during this time, once you have everyone looking at you for whatever you're gonna do, it's time you pull those big boy pants on and listen to the community. The game, it feels so corporate now, and I feel like they kind of took the fun out of Fortnite. If you manage to make Chapter 6 feel like classic Fortnite again, you were able to do that with Fortnite OG. There's definitely a way you can somehow make Chapter 6 feel like that again. I would love it, but you know, I have faith. There's a lot of work that you guys have to do, and so, for all of you watching, Abig's probably not gonna see this video. But if any of you agreed with any of my hopes for this chapter, or if any of my hopes sparked an idea in your mind that you wish Fortnite would do, go express it. Because now is the perfect time to let them know what we're looking for and what we want. They're putting out all these surveys recently because they're trying to make Chapter 6 the best chapter, period. There's a reason why we didn't get Fortnite OG for more than a month, and we moved forward from that. There's a reason why all these changes haven't been implemented yet into Chapter 5. Chapter 6 is really gonna be a big one, if not the biggest. And there's a lot riding on that, so spread the word, let everyone know, and we'll come back to this video and see if everything that I asked for worked out in the end. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. If you'd like, use code TrulyMystic in the item shop if you want to support me there. And I'll catch you guys in the next vid. I'll see you then. Have a wonderful day, and until then, peace.